Yo, what up guys, I'm Sammy and welcome back to the Soul Brothers channel. And this is my performance review of the Adidas Trae Young 1. So we got Trae Young's first signature shoe with Adidas. It's going for 140 bucks. It's definitely a little steep for a first signature shoe. I mean, like Dame's shoe is literally like 120 bucks. It was at 110 for the longest time. Donovan Mitchell shoe is same thing. So I don't know why Adidas, put it so expensive. Maybe they're banking on Trae Young getting big, I don't know. If you guys do want to cop, I'll leave a link in the description box, but let's get it started off with the Tracciones. And as you guys can see, I got two colorways. In this pair, we have a fully translucent outsole, and in this pair, we have a solid rubber outsole. And how do they perform? So I was playing on the 24-hour fitness court, which is very, very dirty, very dusty all the time. And also, I take other shoes with me. If I'm trying a shoe out and the traction is not good, I'm like, ooh, that's not good, obviously, right? But is it super dirty on the 24-hour fitness court, or is it just the shoe? You know what I mean? So I was having problems on dust in the Trae Young 1. It was picking up dust like crazy. It was not like having a good stop at all. Even when I wiped like crazy, first of all, I would wipe like all the dirt so that all this black stuff would not be there. And then I would have one good stop. It would be kind of squeaky, and then it would just not be good again, you know what I mean? So I took like the KD 14 and the Curry 8 and like shoes that I know have really good traction, and I really had no problems with those shoes. So if you're gonna play on a dusty court, definitely stay away from this shoe. And like I said, I tried the translucent and solid rubber outsole option. So yeah, if you're playing on a dusty court, it's really, really bad. You're gonna have to wipe a lot. Like very, very frequently. And also it's hard to wipe off. Like, you're gonna be like, dang, I gotta wipe this off like a lot. So yeah, dust, do not get it for this shoe. If you're playing on a clean court, I'm going to another gym also where it's a little bit more premium. Like they have two basketball courts. It's very clean. They clean it there. They keep it very tidy and all that. And the Trae Young 1 was sticking pretty damn well. It has a very solid bite, I would say. So if you're playing on a clean court, you should be fine. I wouldn't say it's top tier. Like the bite is insane, like the Curry 8 or the KD 14. But it's still solid. So if you're playing on a clean court, you should be fine. There's a nice squeak as well for the Trae Young 1. As far as the durability goes, I feel like should be okay. The rubber isn't super hard, but also it's not like super soft. When I press it down with my fingernail, it definitely does move a little bit, but the grooves are deep and we have a lot of rubber as well as far as the surface area goes. So I feel like outdoor use should be okay. So as far as the traction goes, I mean, I play on a dusty court a lot. So I was miserable when I was playing with this shoe. I was like, yo, I don't want to play with it. And I was constantly wiping all that. But when I brought it to a clean court, I was like, I really had no issues with it. So just keep that in mind. It just sucks the performance on dust. Alright, as far as the heel to toe transition goes, it's overall pretty smooth. So if you look at the actual shape, it's pretty damn flat. It reminds me a lot of the Dawn Issue 1, especially here in the forefoot, right? But here in the heel, we have a nice curved shape as well as pretty much a fully exposed midsole. So it doesn't feel clunky or anything, when you strike your heel on the ground. But once you get past the heel and then you go to the forefoot, it's a little bit of a slapper, like just a little bit. But one thing that definitely does help the heel to toe transition here in the forefoot is the flexibility here in the forefoot, which I really like. So if you don't mind a little bit of slapping in your shoe, you should be fine. Heel to toe transition, I would say, is overall pretty smooth besides the slapping. All right, moving on to the cushioning setup. The cushioning setup is definitely my favorite part about the shoe, right? So they're using a blend of light strike and boost, and they're saying it's full length light strike. So if you look on the outside of the shoe, we can see that it's full length light strike, right? So you'd be like, oh, it's full length light strike, right? But if you look on the strobo board, right underneath the insole, and you look at the heel, we can see a crash pad and also a cutout in the strobo board, and there's boost. So you'd be like, I thought it was full-length light strike. You know what I mean? So I'm guessing it's just a pretty thick boost pod here in the heel, and then like in the midfoot and here in the forefoot, it's just light strike, right? So I don't really think it's full-length light strike, but either way, it's very, very nice, right? So it feels very low to the ground, like you're super low to the ground. It reminds me of Harden's, especially like the Harden Volume 4. So I really like that. You feel super low to the ground actually here in the forefoot. It gets a little bit higher here in the heel, but it's still low. Also, the step in comfort, especially here in the forefoot, is really nice. The strobo board broke in nicely, and I definitely felt my forefoot digging into the light strike. It was pretty subtle though. It wasn't crazy compression or anything, but it was nice. It was soft. It definitely improved the step and comfort as well. It also gave a little bit of rebound back in the forefoot, which I really liked. Also here in the heel, it feels really nice. And there's a good amount of compression. It's very good impact protection for heel strikes as well. And also it gives you a little bit of rebound back. So overall, this cushioning setup is really nice. You know, good compression, good impact protection, great step and comfort. It's very comfortable. So I would definitely say this is one of my favorite cushioning setups that Adidas has to offer, just in my personal opinion. All right, moving on to the material. So in both colorways, it's pretty much the same exact material. So it's kind of like a textile mesh material. It's definitely a little bit thicker than I'm used to, but it's not super thick or anything. I would just say it's a little stiff, especially when you get it at first. As you guys can tell, it is a one booty upper, and so there's no tongue. And the material on top of your foot, where the tongue's supposed to be, there's not a whole lot of padding. You know, so it just stays this consistent kind of like relatively thick material throughout this entire upper. And then here in the ankle area, I would say there's pretty minimal padding. So it's kind of weird, but you know, once you break it in, it feels great on foot. Like I said, it's a little bit thicker than I would like, but it conforms to your foot very well. It's comfortable and all that, and it's supportive. So the overall material, I really had no issues with. As far as the lacing system goes, we got a very advanced lacing system. We got 2 eyelets on each side of the shoe. We got 2, and that's it. So yay. The yay for lockdown, you know what I mean? So I guess segueing into the fit, right? So the fit, it was actually good for me. You know, I really had no issues with the fit, but obviously if you can try out the shoe before you buy it, that's highly recommended, just because you can't really fix the fit with the laces, you know what I mean? So if a shoe is a little bit loose, as far as the fit goes, obviously you just tighten the laces, right? On like most normal shoes, but here in the Trae Young 1, it's a one booty upper, and you have 2 eyelets on each side, and it's just in the midfoot kind of. So you don't really have any type of room to like tighten the laces, especially here in the forefoot area kind of. So if the fit is loose, like just in this area, you're just kind of screwed. You can't really do anything about it. And the material does stretch out a little bit, and there's not a whole lot of stretch, but like once you break it in and play in it for a while, like most materials stretch out, even leather. You know what I mean? So this definitely did stretch out a little bit, and it got a little bit roomier, so definitely do watch out for that. As far as the length goes, I went true to size, and it was there is a little bit of length, I would say, but I feel like if I went down half a size, it would be a little too snug lengthwise. So I feel like true to your Adidas size, most people should be fine. For the width, I would say it's normal, and then here in the toe box, it's not crazy snug, but also it's not crazy roomy. I would say it was just comfortable for me. But like I said, I don't know, if you have a super thin foot or something, or you want a really snug fit, just watch out for the fit here in the Trae Young 1. Also, this shoe is really easy to put on. You know, I don't know why, but this shoe, I really had no issues with putting it on, as opposed to other shoes that have one booty uppers, you know what I mean? So that's really good. We also have a very high heel tab. Moving on to the support and lockdown of the shoe. So for lateral containment, as you guys could have guessed, there's no issues, right? So here on the lateral side of the shoe, the foam does come up, acting as a sidewall. Here in the forefoot, here in the midfoot, and also here in the heel, and we have an internal TPU heel counter. So lateral containment, I had no issues with. My foot wasn't sliding out of the foot pad or anything. Also for lateral stability, Adidas does this usually very, very well. It's a very wide base. Also, you're low to the ground, so I had no issues with lateral instability. Obviously it is a low top, so you're not going to really get any type of ankle movement restriction or ankle support. And also I didn't really have any issues with like heel slippage or my foot sliding inside of the shoe or anything. Obviously that heavily depends on how the fit is for you, and especially in this shoe because it is a one booty upper. But I'm pretty surprised I didn't really experience any type of heel slippage. My heel felt fine. So there's that. I also, like, in the comments on Instagram, like some of you guys got it and you guys said you guys felt a little bit of heel slippage. So I was like pretty surprised because I didn't feel any. So I definitely do watch out for that, because some of you guys said there is heel slippage, but in my personal experience, I didn't experience any. Alright, as far as the weight goes, so let's check the weight. 12.9 ounces. I would say that's a little bit heavier than average. The average weight of my shoes is around 12.5 ounces, but 0.4 ounces, not a huge deal. This shoe actually felt great on foot, you know. Besides, I guess, a little bit thicker material here in the toe box, That's just me nitpicking at that point. But anyways, yeah, it felt great. And when I was playing on a clean court and the traction was biting, I felt very responsive. The cushion felt nice, very comfortable, but also low to the ground. I had no issues with support or anything. So when the traction was good, I had no issues with the shoe, and I definitely did enjoy it. Obviously, when I was playing on even a slightly dusty court, I had a lot of issues. So just watch out for that. Moving on to the ventilation. Ventilation is not very good. You know, there's really no ventilation holes, and also there's no airflow. And like I said, this material is on the thicker side of things, so definitely your feet are gonna be warm in the shoe. All right, moving on to the aesthetics. I like it. I would definitely say it's one of my favorite shoes that Adidas has to offer aesthetically. You know, I would say maybe the D-Rose Son of Shy and the Dame 7 might beat out the Trae Young 1 a little bit, but it's still a great looking shoe in my opinion. Definitely way better than the On Issue 3. So and also this colorway, I love this gradient here on the upper. So tell us what you guys think of the aesthetics down in the comment section below. So wrapping things up, I really like it. I wouldn't say it's my favorite shoe to ball in just because of the traction. But everything else I really had no issues with. You know, support, lockdown was good, fit for me was good as well, but like I said, it has a little bit of an asterisk to it. You know, if the fit isn't good for you, definitely don't think you'll enjoy the shoe as much. Cushion also was great in the shoe. It's just the traction on dust that was the issue. So when I was playing on a clean court, I really liked playing in it. When I was playing on a dusty court, I absolutely hated it. So I guess it just depends on what type of court you're playing on. If you're playing on a clean court, you should be fine with this shoe. And also, I feel like most positions would enjoy this. You know, if you're a guard and you want a very quick feeling shoe, you should be fine with this. If you're a bigger dude, this shoe really has no issues with support, so you should be fine in this shoe as well. If you're playing on a dirty court or even like a slightly dusty court, I would suggest probably looking elsewhere. But anyways, that about concludes this review of the Adidas Trae Young 1. Again, if you guys want to cop, I'll leave a link in the description box, but that's it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.